Listeners of Bluesmoose Radio and readers of Blues Magazine, I'm going to introduce to you Riccardo Grosso, who I have on the Zoom meeting now. Riccardo, good morning.
Good morning.
Buongiorno, as I said before.
Buongiorno. Buongiorno to you and to all the listeners and readers.
And it's with a reason I speak to Riccardo Grosso, because he's visiting the Netherlands in January. He has a small
Yes.
tour, and I'm going to read it now. One moment. Tour. It's going to be in January the 21st. Enschede, Blues at the Factory. Culemborg en januari 22, Blues at the Factory. Assen, Bluesdagen en January 24. En in Veghel, the Netherlands, the Afzakkerij. So welcome to the Netherlands next year.
Thank you, sir. Can't
It's
wait
the
to
first
be.
time?
No, I've been there last 2 years ago, actually. 2 years ago, and I toured a little bit, like with the band from Italy. We drove there and spent some good time there, and I couldn't wait to get back. So finally, I'm able to be back again in January, and I can't wait to be there, man. I can't wait
Um,
because every time I came to Netherlands, the audience is just amazing. They dance to blues music. They really know that kind of music. And I'm like, well, I'm at home here, you know. So,
how do you get into the blues
oh, I
and
try to
to
make
and the harmonica specifically?
I'll try to make the long story short. When I when I was a child, and I mean like 5, 6, 7 years of age, they used to air on TV in the Christmas Eve night, or in December 31st, so last day of the year, the movie Blues Brothers, but from 10 p.m. So I couldn't make it till the end of the movie because, I was falling asleep, and I was always curious about those two guys free in the world, messing up everything, but with good music and a good goal. And at some point, I was like 16 years of age, and a light in my head turned on, and I was like, if Dan Aykroyd plays harmonica, I want to do that for a living. It was probably a crazy idea, but I was 15, 16 at the time. And so I fall in love with the instrument because I bought myself a cheap harmonica just to try it out. And then some guy gave me first a list of records that I should get to really be into the blues, not rhythm and blues, into the blues and into the harmonica. And then another friend of mine, he gave me as a gift a James Cotton CD. The CD was Living the Blues. And when I listened to that album, I was like, the harmonica can do that? I want to figure out how I can play those sounds. And I start my journey into this wonderful and crazy world of music and of harmonica. And I can tell you that I had some very good satisfaction through the years because I started with the Blues Brothers, and like 20 years later, I was playing on stage with the band for a song, and I was like, well, okay, now I can quit. I closed the whole.
The circle is round.
And then from there, you start to explore what the instrument can do, and you find that you don't have a toy in your hand and in your mouth, you have a real instrument. And at some point, I was like, oh, now I'm in trouble. Now I gotta put the work into the music to figure out that. And man, I can't be more happy than this. I'm lucky that I can, make a living out of that against every odds, because everybody was like, you should get a real job, man. Music, And until the wave is up, I'm gonna surf it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to do. So that's my start in the blues music world, and I feel like a tourist into that world because there's more than just notes and chord progressions. There's a lot of heritage and background that me as Italian, I can just try to understand and be respectful to that, and trying to be as honest as possible with my music without trying to imitate people. I don't like to do the imitation of that bluesman or that harmonica player, because to me it's something like, let's say, blackface, like, oh, I do the imitation. No, I want to play the music. Then, of course, I would like to be the new little Walter or Paul Butterfield, who everybody who's a musician would like to be as good as E-Zero. But that's the good part, is a never-ending journey, so I try to reach that goal.
Well, you tried. The album I got here, that was the Road in a Room. I see Double Trouble on it, but also see stuff from Kim Wilson.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's not an easy piece to start with.
No, no, you're like fighting against the heavyweight boxing champion there.
Yeah.
And I tried to stay as far as possible from Kim Wilson stuff, from his soloing and his, attitude on the song, because you cannot win. It's a giant that everybody looked to be a better musician. So I was like, well, maybe it's wiser if I don't try to get into that field and I stay somewhere else. And I tried to put some Sonny Boy Williamson influences into that thing I was playing.
I think it's wise, and also the take you do on the music is evolving it and make it your own, and that's always good. And you can start better with a good song and evolve it in your own than write a shitty song yourself. And
Yeah.
eventually you're gonna learn how to write, because it's a skill. It's a
Yeah,
skill.
it's a hard skill. I
Yeah.
was, well, I'm in love with the way, I'm talking about lyrics mainly, Rick Astley writes, from Rick Astley and the Night Cats.
Oh yeah.
Used to be Little Charlie, and then,
Yeah, I know.
and he's very smart. There's
Yes.
irony in that.
He had a
There's,
lot of humor in the songs.
yeah. And I'm like, I want to learn to write that way. Then I'm in love with Tom Waits lyrics. And when I read lyrics from Tom Waits, I'm like, how can I write like that? I need to reach that quality, that passion, that word that these people can create. I'm not there by any means, because what I write is really basic, but I'm studying that, because writing is another, like you say, it's a skill and it's another thing. I even bother on Facebook Rick Astley, because he was having a kind of interview where he said, "Hey, I got that book called blah 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 that I studied to write song," and I even asked him, "I didn't get the name. Can you tell me the book name, because I want to get it?" And I got the English version, of course, and it's called Tunesmith, like, the locksmith, but for the songs. And it's like a Bible. It's so thick that you gotta read through and try to do your stuff. Then there's language barriers. Of course, English is not my first language, so you don't have all the slang, all the tongue-in-cheek humor and that
Yeah,
stuff.
there's a lot of slang going on in blues.
Yeah, so I'm trying. It's even there a journey that I never reach the end, but I'm lucky that I can bother people like Dale Spalding from Kennedy. And then I'm like, hey, I got these lyrics. Can you check them? And oh yeah, and he corrects some stuff. Like, I know that you won't say that, but write that in this way. So I'm trying. I got some new stuff coming out, so people will figure out if I'm able or not.
And what comes first, the chicken or the egg, or the song or the lyrics? The
Oh,
music or the lyrics?
depends. Sometimes I got let's say, the melody in my head that I'm singing by myself, and I'm like, okay, let's put some random words. And if they sound right, I try to do kind of reverse engineering and write a sentence, a line that has sense with those sounds. Other times, Flavio Paludetti, my guitar player, is sending me like, hey, I got this guitar riff that I think is good for a song. Try to work on it. And from there, I start to develop the lyrics and the melody and the rhythm and try to write everything, then send it to the band and say, hey, we should rehearsal this stuff. I just wrote, let's say, the scratch thing, like, nothing that is final, but that's the direction. Guys, help me out to develop it properly.
When do you fine-tune it? In rehearsals at somebody's home or in the studio when you record it?
Well, the Italian band is a kind of strange, logistically speaking, strange band, because I live in Liguria, that it's northwest of Italy. Let's say I'm 45 minutes from Pisa, where there's the Leaning Tower.
Okay.
The band is bass player and drummer close to Venice, so on the other part of Italy, and the guitar player lives, let's say, closer to Slovenia than everybody else. So when we do the touring or we got gigs, we're like, okay, let's meet in the morning or the day before, rent a studio, go in there and rehearsal the whole day, like 8 hours. We take our breaks, like coffee, cigarette, lunch, but we're in there, and once everything is ready, we are able to record it, even if basically, but we have the song and everything. Or if it's something that we don't have to build but already exists, I'm like, hey guys, we're gonna play that song, see you at the concert, and we do it.
Talking about playing live, and I saw a few videos on YouTube, and I see also your playlist. Seems to me that you're an audience player, that you only have a good time. No, that's not correct what I say, but you're gonna love it when the audience is getting it. It's going berserk,
Yeah.
You're gonna play for the audience, and you're gonna win that game. Audience versus musician live.
For me, now I'm going to be hated by every musician in the world for what I'm gonna say. But for me, the musician comes last. I mean, we are there to give to the people good time. It's not the other way around. It's not the people are there for us. We are there for them. And if we are able to make them become the fifth element of the band, so they give us energy back, we are into the music altogether. I don't believe the thing that you gotta keep distance with the audience. You gotta take them into the music with you, and you are in the room, you're the only one with a microphone and that is loud enough to lead the way, so you gotta do it properly. Musician come first when we're talking about how to develop and play music. But when we are on stage, we are at audience service. In fact, I prepare, let's say, the set list, but it's a nightmare to play with me because I like to read the room, and if they need something different right there, I'm like calling another song on the spot, and the band got to know that because they can jump from the top of the list to the bottom and then move around, because what I had in mind for the concert is not happening, and I gotta go with the flow, not fight it.
I think it's the right way to approach small rooms, but even bigger rooms.
Everywhere is the same approach, and you gotta give 110%, not 90%. Always be there and never downplay the audience, never ever.
Well, next year you are at the Netherlands, and I almost forgot to say you're back in October 2026.
Yeah.
And I got the list here: Apeldoorn, Bluescafe, renowned venue; Roosendaal, Timeout Cafe; Amsterdam, Bourbon Street twice, and in Leeuwarden, Netherlands; Rotterdam, Blues Centrum, Rotterdam. You've seen all the countries. And then, of course, Austria I see popping up. and Germany, France.
Yep. We
It's
got
a
something.
decent European tour.
Yeah, I try to play abroad as much as I can because for me, I don't want to put Italy down or anything, don't get me wrong, but for me, I find I have, let's say, funnier time when I'm abroad, probably because, you are the foreign guy that come and play the blues and whatever, but it's every time we find very hot crowd and people that come listen to the blues and not just, oh, I was here, there's music, but I don't know what's going on. So if you play for somebody who loves the same kind of music, it's totally different. So that's why we move abroad a lot, and hey, I love to visit every country that I can. So sometimes I'm wishing to have a day off. Let's hang out here a little bit.
Well, if you do
So
it properly, playing on stage is relaxing.
yeah,
My favorite quote was from I forgot his name. He passed away a few months ago. We say, "I'm a professional traveler, and in between, I play music."
yeah.
I will send you the name. I will right after the message.
Because
Uh,
that describes pretty much
yeah,
the life.
he toured a lot. He toured a lot. Riccardo, thank you for this interview so far. I know you sent me a few new songs that are still in production, so we're gonna maybe a
Yeah, you're gonna
world
have
premiere.
you're gonna be the first one to listen. So I'll appreciate your opinion on that and give me some feedback.
Okay, and I will give it to you. And I'm well, it's a busy period for me, January and so, but if I get some time, I will visit one of the shows because it looks tremendous. I love people who give everything on stage and try to win
Yeah.
the audience. I love that. And a good harmonica is never bad.
Well, hopefully I'm going to keep you on that opinion.
Um, well, we quit here now.